The Galactic Assembly's war declaration echoed through 1,000 star systems, but in Earth's strategic command, Admiral Chun just snorted into her coffee. Finally, she muttered, flipping a switch that hadn't been touched for centuries. I was starting to think we'd over-prepared. 3 millennia. That's how long the Pax Galactica had lasted. 3,000 years of trade agreements, cultural exchanges, and the comfortable lie that the galaxy had evolved beyond violence. The Crothy hegemony shattered that illusion with a single broadcast. The weak have grown fat on peace. Today, the strong reclaim their destiny. Across the galaxy, panic erupted. The Vorians wept. The Zentari scrambled to activate mothballed defense systems. The crystalline shapers frantically began growing warforms they'd forgotten how to design. Earth's response was broadcast on all channels. Laughter. Peace lulled them. History armed us. Ambassador Krishna stepped before the emergency session, still chuckling. The assembled species recoiled at her casual demeanor. Ambassador! The galactic mediator's tentacles writhed in distress. The Crothy fleet is already moving. Half the galaxy will burn before. Sorry, Krishna wiped her eyes. It's just, they actually think we stopped preparing for war. She activated her communicator. Admiral Chen, they're serious. Chen's voice crackled back, barely containing mirth. Roger that. Activating Protocol Omega-7. Try not to spoil the surprise. Humans don't fear war. We just got tired of winning. The Zentari representative buzzed anxiously. This is no time for human humor. You have no visible fleet, no orbital platforms, no visible fleet, Krishna agreed. Keyword there. What the galaxy had forgotten, what 3,000 years of peace had carefully erased from collective memory, was why the last Great War had ended. Not through treaty or exhaustion, but because humanity had won so decisively, so terrifyingly, that the galaxy had begged for peace just to stop the advance. And then humans had done something unexpected. They'd agreed. They saw our laughter as madness. They didn't realize it was memory. In Earth's underground bunkers, systems that had been maintained for 3 millennia hummed to life. Not with the frantic energy of panic, but with the smooth efficiency of a plan followed to perfection. Ghost Fleet Alpha through Omega, report status. Alpha standing by. Cloak stable at 99.7%. Beta standing by. 3,000 years of upgrades integrated. Gamma standing by. Our grandchildren's grandchildren waited for this day. Every human colony, every mining outpost, every seemingly defenseless trade station revealed its true nature. Beneath civilian facades lay military infrastructure so advanced, so carefully hidden it had become legend. The kind of legend species told themselves couldn't be real. The galaxy may forget, but Earth remembers. The Crothy fleet, 2,000 ships strong, entered human space expecting easy conquest. Their sensors showed empty void, undefended worlds, peaceful stations. Their commander, Warlord Grax, broadcast his demands. Surrender, humans. Your time of pretending to be civilized ends now. We remember what you truly are, warriors playing at peace. But you've grown soft, complacent. The response came from everywhere and nowhere. A child's voice, synthesized from humanity's collective AI network. Did you ever wonder why we agreed to peace so easily? Space itself seemed to shimmer. If you want to scare a human, you'd better bring more than a fleet. 3,000 years of technological advancement, hidden beneath stealth fields that bent reality itself. Ships that weren't just invisible, they existed in folded spacetime, occupying the same coordinates as enemy vessels until the moment of strike. Weapons that didn't destroy, they simply convinced matter it had never existed. The human fleet didn't decloak. It materialized inside the Crothy formation. No, Grax whispered. The ghost stories. They were true. All of them, Admiral Chun confirmed. Her flagship's AI translating the pleasant conversation across all frequencies. The thing about humans, Warlord, is we're pessimists. We hoped for peace. We prepared for you. Hope for peace. Prepare for annihilation. The human way. What followed wasn't a battle. Battles involve two sides fighting. This was a demonstration. Crothy ships found themselves disassembled at the molecular level, their crews transported safely to lifeboats before they could understand what happened. Weapons fired through dimensional rifts, hitting targets before the trigger was pulled. Human fighters moved through folded space, appearing inside enemy shields, depositing warnings instead of warheads. "We could end you," each message read. "We choose not to. This time. Mercy isn't weakness when you can afford it." The entire conflict lasted 17 minutes. 2,000 crothy ships reduced to scattered lifeboats and humbled crews. 0 casualties, a deliberate, terrifying choice. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as humanity's true military might revealed itself. Not just Earth, every human settlement housed fleets that defied physics, weapons that challenged reality, defenses that made assault literally unthinkable. You see, Ambassador Krishna addressed the emergency session as calm as when she'd entered. "We never trusted the peace. Not because we wanted war, but because we studied history. Our history. Your histories. Peace is beautiful, but it's also fragile. The price of peace is eternal vigilance. We just never mentioned we were paying it." The mediator's voice shook. You've been preparing for war this entire time?" "Not for war," Krishna corrected. "Against it. Every human child learns about Earth's wars. The millions dead. The planets we glassed before we learned control. We swore never again. But never again doesn't mean never be ready." Admiral Chen's broadcast reached every corner of the galaxy. "The 3,000-year peace is over. We mourn its passing. But if anyone else wants to test humanity's resolve." She paused, letting the weight settle. "We've had 3,000 years to improve our response time. You had 3,000 years to forget what we are. We had 3,000 years to remember." The crothy survivors were returned to their space, their technology intact but somehow less. Every weapon had been subtly altered. They would work, but never again against human targets. A reminder. A warning. A mercy they didn't deserve but received anyway. In the aftermath, as species struggled to process what they'd witnessed, a young Vorian asked Ambassador Krishna, "Why laugh? Why did humans laugh when war was declared?" Krishna smiled sadly. "Because the alternative was crying. Do you know what it's like, young one, to prepare every day for a war you pray never comes? To teach your children they must be ready to become monsters to prevent monstrosity? We laugh because the waiting was over. The masks could drop. The universe could see what we've hidden so carefully. We're not warriors pretending to be peaceful. We're peaceful because we know what war costs." The galaxy returned to an uneasy peace, but now with understanding. Human ships remained cloaked, human weapons stayed dimensional shifted, human soldiers continued training for battles they hoped would never come. But now everyone knew they were there. Watching. Waiting. Protecting a peace they'd never truly believed in but desperately wanted to last. The strongest warrior is the one who wins without fighting. The wisest one is who prepares for the fight anyway. And in schools across human space, children learned a new lesson. We kept the peace for 3,000 years. Your job is to make it 3001. The laughter had ended. The vigil continued. But now at least, the galaxy understood the joke.